Yeah, I know it kind of sounds like some people who may be listening, it may sound like we're un-American, like we're commies or something, but that's not true. Our government are commies. They're Bolsheviks. And you don't need to look any further than the Communist Manifesto. You don't need to look any further than the policies implemented the last 10 years, or the last 30 years, the last 100 years. And as I said, if it looks like a Zionist and it smells like a Zionist, it is a central banker. And central banks have caused every boom, every bust. They fund both sides of every war. And so we're not un-American. And I say God bless Americans.
And God bless Americans. In fact, indeed. Welcome to Against the Wall this evening, this Tuesday evening. I was supposed to have a guest, but I don't even know why he's not answering. But maybe he'll pop in before the show's over. So welcome. This is Against the Wall. I'm your host, JJ. You can email me at truthrising@gmail.com. I spent half the day today arguing on the internet with people about vaccines. Some people just won't. I mean, the most blind of all are the people that work for doctors, the nurses. I mean, they just go by whatever they get, whatever the manufacturer, the pharmaceutical tells them that is what they go with, like it was written in stone, you know. Which I don't get, man. If I worked in a doctor's office, I would want to be researching everything. I would want to know more about just about everything. I'm going to have to reload Windows probably this weekend, or I don't know if I'll be even able to do a live show. My computer is getting really wacky here. And it happens, downloading documents. Excuse me. Sometimes you get these executable files, and it's not porn. A lot of people get them downloading porn or game patches, but I've found in the last few months that now you'll start getting these malicious executable files at places like Scribe even. So just whatever you're looking at, if it's possible to view it online, do that before you download it, is my advice. And I'm having all kinds of issues here with my computer. I'm hoping that I'm actually live right now. I don't really know. I don't really know if I'm live or not. Let's see. So y'all have to let me know. Iran is the big talk today. Everybody's talking about Iran. Oh, hey, look. I haven't even called in the number yet. 718-717-8296. Call me if you love me. That's the calling number. Welcome to the show, caller. Welcome to Against the Wall. Uh-oh. Hello.
Is this the geoengineering show?
Nope. Let me see. They're up. I think they're on at 11 o'clock tonight.
11?
This is Against the Wall.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Wow. How odd is that? Now what's going on here? Oh, man, I was just helping somebody troubleshoot their computer, and now I'm having all these issues here. Let me hang up on this caller. I've had the phones forwarded to me all day, so. No, man, what's going on here? Hold on. No, I'm trying to. Sorry, I almost called that person back. Hey! Don't wait for Geoengineering Watch. We'll talk about it right now. I don't have the answers. I don't have all the geoengineering answers. But it seems to me that they're spraying, and you can tell. I mean, it's obvious. I'm trying to be diplomatic here, just because I've actually done, umpteen shows on chemtrails and whatnot, and geoengineering, and they absolutely have been seeding clouds for decades now. So, and the thing of it is what they probably, the science has settled the man-made global, climate polar bear genocide is going on right now. And I know I'm not out there trying to end the drug war currently this very second, but I actually do try to end the drug war, and I do. And what I don't do, here's what I don't do. I don't give a flying fuck about the drug war. When somebody needs help, I help them. When they need oil, I freaking give it to them, and I rescue them. I save them from their cancers and from other freaking problems that they have. So people can accuse me of not fighting or trying to end a drug war, but I'm not waiting for the drug war to end. I'm going to continue on doing what I do in spite of the drug war, which is a completely, totally racist war against the people. I don't know what brought that on. And I'm not going to take calls. If you call me up and you want to talk about being banned from chat rooms, I'm just going to hang up. Hello.
Hey, JJ.
Oh, hey. You can call me. What's up, brother?
All right. Yeah, I just got kicked off my computer again. It froze up. But, hey, thanks for the help. I don't know what it is. But anyways, we get a lot of calls for Geoengineering Watch at any given time. So I assume people think that that's the 24-hour hotline. Speaking of which, I was just in chat, and I got a call from Jay Reynolds a day or so ago. I guess he's the original chemtrail debunker. I, like you, have spent a great deal of time on the issue, and I talk about it all the time. People, friends around here, have conceded because I'm always saying,
it's the one thing
up,
all you got to do is look up to see.
Yeah. It's quite obvious that these trails create weather. They turn into clouds. So, anyways, I was hoping your guest was going to call in. I was really looking forward to this.
Is that me?
Discussion about the legal system, so-called legal versus lawful.
What the hell is going on? Look, is that you on your? No, that's me.
Yeah, it's not me.
I told you guys, my computer all of a sudden.
I'm really glad I've got this iPhone. It's like the iPhone 2.9. At least I can get TuneIn on it. So even though people haven't been seeing me in chat, I have been listening on the TuneIn. I'll be taking this computer back in, like you suggested, and see if we can't get it cleaned up. Yeah. But if you'd like, maybe you'd like to talk about the legal system and let me just kind of throw a question or two at you every once in a while as you talk.
Well, I mean, the reason that I wanted to have Jazz around, hold on, let me see. The reason that I wanted to have Jazz around is because he is actual, he's actually has a, I'm not an expert, dude. That's why I wanted to have him on, because I was going to take notes too. Look, my whole experience with the criminal justice system has been as, an inmate. A lot of the things that I do know are that the first thing, and I'm waiting to become an expert on it, because we don't live. I mean, I don't know enough about the etymology of the terms that are used. That's what it's all about. We let them trick us into jurisdiction, and then everything they do to us is voluntary after that. We've already volunteered. And you don't have to take part. I mean, you don't have to take part in the entire system. And there's ways to get around it. I just don't know them all yet, and I'm not well versed enough. Like I can broach the subject, yeah, absolutely, and I can definitely interview somebody because I know enough of the terms. But I mean, I always thought it was a just system. I always just thought I was, hey man, I did shit that was wrong and I got caught. I never looked at it like anything but that until recently.
The first thing is when they ask you, "Do you understand?" It's like you said, all the language.
Well, that's the
has
first
been
trick
owned.
they try to use.
Yeah, Hal talks about it a great deal, and when you say you understand, it means you stand under.
Yeah, you stand beneath, below.
Yeah, under their authority, and like you said, I'm no expert neither, but you can see how it traces the actual court system, the bar system, all of that. Goes back into the priesthood. They're wearing these robes, these priestly garments. And they stand up there like at the pulpit. And like most people that go to church, they accept the authority from the pulpit, and they accept what they're told. And it's just a shame. I'm in the infancy of trying to understand all this myself.
Well, and the thing is, Vinny,
like balance
is you never you even the experts in this, it's a game of cat and mouse because the first thing that you do is you never answer a question. You always answer their question with a question because the minute you answer the question, that's it. That's a trick. The minute that you understand, the first thing you say is, "Who is you?" Define you. I mean, if you have to keep because the judge might just immediately lose his jurisdiction over you by answering your question without a question. It's a game of cat and mouse, and some of these judges are fully aware. They understand. Most don't. But so you never answer their questions. You always answer the question with a question, and if you have to, you'll ask for a pencil and a piece of paper so you can properly answer the question, which is still another question. May I have a piece of paper and a pencil so that I can properly answer the question? And I can keep and you can keep doing that until finally one of you answers a question. But first, they'll clear the courtroom. You know what I'm saying? He'll hold an adjournment. They'll clear the courtroom. That's when you can convene a court of record. They don't. Or you'll try to do it with people. They won't let you do it with people in the courtroom. I guarantee you that.
Right. I think we've all heard instances of them just saying dismissed once you get them into that trap and trap them with their own game. But,
a lot of times they will if it's a minor offense. Most of the time they don't care. I mean, I know people who had really major felonies, federal felonies that have tried the jurisdiction, and even though they've proven that they don't have jurisdiction, it didn't matter. They still did their 8 years in prison.
A friend of mine here that I've known for several years, at least, he's a Mennonite, and
I have many Mennonites in my family, dude.
Yeah, they're good folks. They really are. He went with the no driver's license and so forth, and he ended up spending a lot of time in jail behind it, and never did beat it. So.
Well, here's the deal. It doesn't mean you shouldn't try.
Say again?
I said that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try, and
exactly.
And we can make. I mean, I used to be so hopeful that like we could change. I just don't know, man, because it's a completely godless system. There's no morality. There's no more family. The pyramid of rule has been flipped upside down, where government is God and family is at the bottom and man is at the bottom and God doesn't exist. Morals don't exist anymore. So I just really sometimes I wonder, but there are loopholes and there are ways to beat them at their own game, which is why I wanted to have Jazzer on, because he enjoys beating them at their own game. He doesn't go out there and just try to pick up tickets, but he will help you if you pick one up.
You know what? I was talking to you this morning on air and talking about wanting to go down to the courthouse and fire up a down there and have the sheriff and have the news out there, tell them what I'm going to do. But I'd like to throw them for a little loop. There's it's called ragweed. People get these allergies in the spring, when the summer when the ragweed's blooming. It's just a weed. It's not cannabis. But when I was a kid or a teenager, I dried some out in the oven, and it smelled just like homegrown. So I thought I'd like to really look at doing this and throw them for a little loop and just claim that I'm smoking weed, which it would be, and have that and tell them they have no jurisdiction over a plant, and let them send it to the lab for testing and all that, so that I actually
hold on, Vincent. I gotta find which freaking goddamn ad is running in my show here. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. I must have an advertisement going somewhere. Hey, while I got you online, let me ask you a question. Did you see the head of Planned Parenthood, the new head of the Planned Parenthood, was busted? And had to admit that they sell body parts and of aborted babies. Yeah,
it's been dropped into chat a couple of times today.
Somebody dropped that in chat so I can read that one.
Yeah, I hadn't watched it yet, but my issue with that is partial birth abortion. Is just what it says. The baby's being born, they stab the baby in the neck with scissors and kill it.
Or they throw it in or they allow it to suffocate.
Yeah. Now, if a man kills a pregnant woman, that's
two murders.
Yeah, and special circumstances and get the death penalty. Now, if a woman has a baby, whether it's premature or not, and throws it in a dumpster, she's charged with murder. And where's the difference? Why is it legal for doctors?
What if she had the baby and then cut it up herself and sold the body parts? Then she'd be labeled a freaking monster.
Yeah.
They'd make movies about
the baby in the head when it was being born. What would be the difference in her doing it and a doctor doing it?
Well, when the doctors do it, it's empowerment. That's how fucking twisted our culture is right now, dude.
Exactly.
That's a sign of empowerment that a woman can have an abortion.
Well, for me, it's killing a baby.
It's killing a baby.
Unless it's somebody killing a pregnant woman, then it's an unborn baby. Otherwise, it's a fetus. I mean, life happens when the culmination between the sperm and the egg.
In my opinion, dude, anything after the 13th week is straight up murder of a human. But, that's my opinion. I'm not militant about it. I'm not going to go blow up abortion clinics over it. I would love it if see, that's a problem, dude, with all these NGOs and different organizations and different human rights groups and legislating. If we went back to morals and back to family, we would just peer pressure this sort of thing out of existence.
Dr. Simon on Sundays here on UCY, character matters. I think our character is an expression of our morals, and with society, and of course, this has been planned for many decades. Just bringing down morals of people through television, and of course, it's all planned. Personally, if somebody wants to enter into a contract in marriage, I don't care. I think
I don't either. And if two people want to share benefits, why shouldn't they be able to? I don't see the problem there myself, but they've turned it into such a social issue that you can't even use logic with it.
Right. Yeah. You're kind of hamstrung as far as discussing any of these taboo PC.
Yeah, because we've allowed these PC cultural Marxists fucking into all of our educations. I mean, dude, half the universities in America are just communist. They're all communists, commies. You can't say everything's political correctness. You can't criticize. You can't talk.
That's the way it's set up. It just makes me wonder how much longer are we gonna go? You know, people talk about ending the Fed. There's a plan for that. Believe me, they will live.
Well, the Fed has its own plan for the end of the Fed. I'm sure.
Yeah, and they've got a replacement, and that's more fiat money.
Oh yeah.
Just think when Ronnie Reagan took office, we were millions deficit. He took us into the billions, which is astronomical in itself. And then we're into the trillions now. I mean, $1 billion is a stack of $100 bills 260 miles high.
Yeah.
You could spend $1,000 a day for 2,000 years and not spend it all.
That's just
$1 billion is astronomical.
We piss $1 billion
trillion.
bills in America.
Say again?
We piss $1 billion bills in America.
Yeah.
You know?
You were saying this morning, what?
$600 billion just for defense.
Yeah, how many millions of dollars a minute?
Well, that's $4 million an hour just to be in Afghanistan, and it's even more just to be in Iraq.
And I had said in chat, you know, it's just numbers on paper. And, you know, I wasn't trying to belittle the lives being lost.
No, I know.
I was meaning as far as they're concerned, you know, the death of millions and hundreds of thousands of people to millions of people, the money being spent, to them it's just numbers on paper. There's no value. Did I lose the line?
No, you're still there. No, I agree. I agree. You there still? Yeah, I was just yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
It's really a shame.
Well, what can you?
Go
ahead, man. Go ahead.
This last month, you know, like I said, I've been listening to UCY on TuneIn, and I'm so thankful that that's there. That this little, I call it a 2.9 iPhone. It's like the first one off the assembly line. Kind of my joke, but cracked screen. People say, how do you read that? And I said, you got to read between the lines, just like everything else. But I'm proud it's there, and you know, glad to be able to have UCY. It's I think we're making a difference, but sometimes, you know, I wonder, because this past month or so I've been having a lot more interaction, I guess, with folks around me, because I hadn't been spending as much time, of course, you know, working with the network and sharing the posts and stuff. But it does lead me to wonder. Almost everybody that I come in contact is completely clueless as to the operation of the world system.
Oh, yeah.
And then they just parrot the same old stuff that comes, you know, off the television. The dialectic is set for them, and they don't even know it. They think their opinion is their own, and it's not. People's opinion, even in alternative media. I mean, we got to figure that. And I think here at UCY we're pretty safe. We've got really great hosts here that are very intelligent and really bring stuff to the table that needs to be discussed. But I seen somebody earlier in chat that they'd been off to another network and got kicked out of their chat, but for questioning what they were talking about there. But anyways, I think that we're really lucky to have this forum. And I see Jules in chat, and thanks so much to Jules for all her work. I can't imagine the hours that she puts into this network.
Lots of.
But like I said, I'm just very, very thankful to you know, have this forum right here where we can have discussion. We can have these ideas, these notions that we all have, and be able to discuss it. Because, like I was saying, there's other networks, and these people are just putting out the supposed alternative media, and it's just more propaganda and more dialectic to really just confuse all of the issues. It's very rare to you know, to have honest information and to be able to take a look at that.
Yeah, it's a great place. Yeah, it's a great place to start. Also, you know, because we don't. I'm almost like the most extreme host we have here, as far as you know, just some of the things that come out of my mouth. A lot of the hosts here stay pretty focused on certain subjects. You know what I mean? And so Yeah, I mean, this isn't a bad network for somebody who's just dipping their toes into this sort of genre of talk.
Right.
But
We
here's the deal, man. Jules is great, and this network is great, and it would be great if people went to the Amazon, UCY Amazon, and bought stuff from Amazon. And just picked a few things a year that they needed that they would normally get, and just bought it. But the way Jules created, what do you call it? The network. It's she created. She didn't create a huge network that needed to be scaled back. She created a small network that scales up as she needs it, and so it's really the better way to do it, I think, than some people that think if they build a giant mousetrap, the mice will come, because sometimes they won't. So you upscale as you need it, and it means that you don't have to spend half your time begging for money to pay for these huge servers and call lines and that's the part that I appreciate, is the fact that that while it would be nice if there was some money that pays. I mean, the if there was some money that came in and paid the bills, that she's kept it to where she can handle it. And don't forget that she pays for everything out of her own pocket, and this is just an endeavor of love, and it's not a money making scheme.
I don't know the numbers, but listening to Live Free FM with Nathan Frazier Sunday night, in his first hour, he was talking about, I guess he gets there's 3 cents paid out for every view to YouTube, and he gets a penny. So, of course, all the shows here go to YouTube. You see why.
Yeah, but I don't believe that Jules monetizes them.
Pardon?
I don't believe that we monetize the archive videos.
I was under the impression they were.
Oh, maybe they are. It should be that. I've never had a problem with that.
No, nor do I. I don't monetize my YouTube.
I don't either, just because. I mean, I don't get enough views to where 30 pennies every month is going to make a difference to me. But I mean, if I was getting like some of these websites that get like 10,000 views a month or 10,000 views a day, that's totally different. If you can get a penny for each one of those.
Well, I mean, it all adds up, and it's going to count a little bit. So I would encourage, yes, Jill says she does have it monetized, JJ. So I would encourage all our regulars, especially our regular listeners, to go to YouTube.
Oh, you can't do that.
Pardon?
You can't. Yeah, that's the one thing about Google Ads and YouTube. You can't ask people to go there just to click on them. Somehow that violates the terms of service. So, I mean, it's just common sense that people should do that, is all.
Huh.
Seriously, if you tell people, hey, go click on my Google Ads, then somehow you have violated the terms of service with Google Ads. And I believe it's the same way with the YouTube monetization. But they get a lot of views anyways, a few pennies here and there. UCY is they get a lot of freaking views. It's not just me. I'm the only one at UCY that gets like 10 views a month. But a lot of the stuff at UCY gets, a lot of views. So, a few pennies here and there, yeah. And if it pays for the phones or whatever, that's great. Jules ain't trying to turn this into her living like a lot of other networks are. It's their, you know what I'm saying? I totally respect it. Is all I know.
Well, I'm not telling anyone then to go to YouTube and click on, but personally, I like to go to YouTube at UCY and to give it my support.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I go there to listen. I always listen to my archive at least once, because I always swear I just had a giant mess of a train wreck at the end of every show. So I always go back and listen to it just once to make sure that I was right, and usually I was wrong.
Oh my! I've about 64 episodes that I did of my show, What Matters Here at UCY. I got back and listened to some of my stuff, and it's like, wow, how can anybody listen to this idiot? You know?
Well, I go back to my Orion shows and feel the same way. So, and I've been happy. And that's kind of why I came back here to start doing a few shows, is because I have been doing it for, 5 years now. So I can get on the air and do a decent show and we needed that. And now things are really starting to pick up here at UCY. We're starting to get really cool hosts here. We got, Alan Watt, who I really enjoy, and some of these other shows.
Yeah, we've had three or four new shows added this last month.
Yeah,
really,
yep. Ron
really awesome.
Stevens, I really enjoy his show. There's several.
I'm still in the planning and trying to put it all together, and I mean, it's just so much work. But I would like to come back one day in a pre-recorded, segmented show. I'd like to break it down into very small segments. Maybe at the most a 15-minute segment with a guest. And kind of string that along. I'd like to get 54 shows produced, have them all lined out, and have a demo and come back. But who knows when that would be? It's
I would do that, except for because I thought about doing that myself exclusively. And I see not everybody likes Alan Watt. Well, I do anyways. I mean, I'm sure there's reasons not to, but I don't know him. But, there's plenty of people that go, what, JJ? You listen to that idiot? So, now I forgot what the hell I was going to say. But at any rate, I was at one. Oh, yeah. I just love to lie. I like to interact. I do, I do the show with the chat room. I'm one of the few hosts that can handle, interacting with the chat room and doing the show at the same time without, losing my mind and quitting on air.
I found that I didn't have any problem doing that. I was like have about 10 tabs running and in chat and talking on the radio, and sometimes I get a little distracted. But
well, the guys in chat keep me honest. That's for sure.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
They do want the live show, the interaction.
That's why I do it, bro. Because I mean, I just love all the guys at UCY and the people that listen to UCY. So I like being part of the family. Sometimes doing a show seems like a chore, but it never does when I'm, halfway into it. It always feels like I'm at home with people that care about me. So, even though there was a time where I thought, well, after Oracle, why would I ever do a show at another network that wasn't greater than? But to me, being with people that accept me is a little more important. And I'm really not doing the show thinking that I'm making a big difference in the world. I'm doing it basically just to cement the camaraderie that I have with a bunch of people now. And I just sometimes friendships take work.
The only reason I want to do is a pre-record and have it. It's so that I can bring my, edit myself, take the and-ums out, be clear and concise, and to the point on the issues. And there's a lot of issues, and I think 50-something shows I could go back, cover what I've covered, and bring it into shorter segments because so many people's attention span is so short. A lot of people won't sit through, an hour of radio or a 2-hour show. And if you got to use the tricks of the trade, I guess is what I'm trying to say, and use this time-proven methods that they use against us.
Agreed.
And use it for a benefit,
I'm sitting here pounding down near beers.
JJ, I'm going to get off here. I'm going to hand it back. I appreciate you taking my call. I heard your guest letting in, and I was trying to get back into the chat here and listening on the tune-in. But
all right, dude.
Anyways, hey, thank JJ and Greyhound. I was there.
All right, bro.
Greyhound break down has me where I'm at right now today, and that's thanks to you and to Jules and so many other people here, Dan, Tennessee, and Choco Kelly. You know, of course, helped me a lot. You did, and even though Jim Funky back in the early days. We've seen people come and go here, and you know, lots of great folks, and sometimes people quit and give it up. And anyways, big love, y'all, and talk to you, JJ.
All right, thanks, brother. Thanks for calling the show. Okay. That was a great call. 718-717-8296. That's 718-717-8296. Against the wall. Call me if you care. TruthRising@gmail.com is how you can email me. All right. Well, you know, so everybody's talking about Iran. Here's one of the things that could happen once the sanctions are lifted is they could double their oil production, and of course, would the price of gas go down? It should. Theoretically, we should see gas down around $2 a gallon. I mean, but the point, I almost want to talk about that Planned Parenthood, but I'm not gonna. I'm having all kinds of problems with my computer. But once they really get started, Iran doesn't have to be our enemy. They may be Israel's enemy, but there's no reason for them to be our enemy. And they're only doing what we're doing. I mean, they're supporting a resistance, and they're allowed to do that. Wow, now my whole computer froze up on me. Well, we'll see if things come back here. So yeah, that would be one of the good things. Is well, not only that, but look, the problem that Israel has isn't nuclear bombs; it's opposition politically in the region. And once the sanctions are lifted, don't forget we have $100 billion or so of Iranian money that was seized in the central banks. That will be cleared up, and then we could see them. Oh, man, I am so pissed that I somehow got this crappy executable file. That's what it has to be, man, because I'm pretty anal about keeping my PC clean. And the only place I was at was a place where I was downloading documents. So, to some of the points that Vincent was making, UCY is a great network. There's not a lot of begging. And like I mentioned, I'm like the most really extreme. I say the most weird and freaking far out crap. God dang it. This is really irking me, man. This is really starting to irk me, and I may end up having to, I'm not going to restart. Well, so I actually saw there's a few things here that, even though I'm not going to be able to, oh yeah, man, everything is completely frozen up. I think I hope I'm still alive. But at any rate, yeah. There was one story about. Now here's the problem, because we have all these protected classes of citizens. We have all these different issues, racial issues where, the problem is using. Oh, this is going to start a player. Is using the race card, being used the card as a tool of coercion. And that's being used everywhere, man. It's being used everywhere. I did it sort of seamlessly. I got my internet back and my browser back up. Um, oh, well, at least I thought I did. California, of course, they want to be the first state, but this is going to be a federal mandate soon. The vaccines mandate adult vaccines. I mean, what real vaccines do you need as an adult that should be? Let's see what this bill that has now been sent. What? Okay, no, California removed, but so did New York this year. New York also removed the religious exemption, but now a bill that apparently actually has been signed into law and mandates that no personal exemption or criminal penalties to fail or for failure to comply with adult vaccines. Now, what vaccines would they possibly make mandatory for an adult? The flu vaccine? Oh, so they're talking about flu vaccine and the DTaP boosters for adults. The pertussis, measles, not that's DTaP. No, that's the other one, MMR. So they want to make it mandatory for adults to get flu shots every year and their MMR boosters. Especially, let's see, if you're a daycare worker or family daycare home employee, any person has not been I absolutely would never trust anybody at the CDC. And and here's the deal to all you people that call me an anti-vaxxer and say that I should be in a mental institution. It's not me saying this. This isn't just my opinion. There is an ongoing open debate amongst doctors and scientists. Many doctors, many scientists refuse to vaccinate their own children or other children. Many, thousands, not just me. It's you who needs to go to a mental institution because you are so, as Kevin would put it, you're so cozy with your dogma in your dogma blanket that anything that is different from something you have already done, like you're afraid to admit that you may have been wrong. But it's not just me. There are thousands upon thousands of doctors globally. This is not just because the big pharmaceutical companies have bought and paid for every freaking politician and every goddamn member of the CDC and the FDA. Why would you believe anything they say? They're completely full of fucking fraudulent studies, fraudulent numbers, conflicts of interest. And all you nurses, you should know that half of the income at your doctor's office comes from pharmaceutical companies, not from your patients. It shouldn't be me. I'm not the one who needs to go to a mental institution. Thousands, 9/11. Thousands. There are thousands and thousands of architects and engineers who say that those buildings could not have collapsed without a vacuum being created. And the only way to do that would have been explosives. Building 7, same thing. Global warming, man-made global warming. It's not a settled science. There are literally tens of thousands of scientists and climatologists out there that debate and oppose the settled science. There are literally hundreds of thousands of doctors on the planet that oppose the herd. Are you a freaking cow? Are we cows? If we're cows, then you better admit that Jews fucking run the world, because that's what they think of Goyim, is cows. Herd immunization. Herd immunization doesn't even really work for cows either. It does, but it makes it so now you got a herd of sick cows. They're just guys. People who think that I belong in a mental institution because they may work for a frickin' doctors. How many people have you poisoned? How many times when you worked at your office did you prescribe or see your doctor prescribe Vioxx? Vioxx killed more Americans than Vietnam. Prescription drugs kill more people every single goddamn year in America than Vietnam killed. Every year. Twice the amount of people that died in Vietnam die in America from prescription drugs. And I just heard an ad today that said it's not the prescription drugs, it's people not taking them properly that kills 100,000 people a year. But not a single doctor's ever, or manufacturer of these poisons, is ever persecuted. You can't even talk about them because you've got these idiots that run around and with their fingers in their ears. Oh, my God. He just said something that's different from what my Jew doctor just told me. So I didn't get my guest on tonight. Jazzer's a great guy, and you guys will love it when he does come on. That article really kind of irked me, man. One of the good things that, you know, is the mainstreaming of medical cannabis. Now, of course, they'll try to make it. They're going to make a way. The manufacturers, the pharmaceutical companies, when they start putting it out, they're always going to say that it doesn't cure cancer. There'll never be a cure for cancer, even though I've cured cancer. You heard Nemo come on and say his cancer's gone. Well, that's because I gave him the oil, and he changed, well, not just that, but he changed his diet, and he changed everything. He changed his lifestyle, and he healed himself. And he didn't go to the freaking doctor. He didn't get chemotherapy. I mean, he did go to the doctor, to the oncologist, but he didn't get chemo, he didn't get radiation. Why wait? The drug war will peter itself out when the rest of this empire collapses. It doesn't mean don't fight it. Any person that's listening to it, don't take that to mean that. And plus, it don't take it to mean that I feel like anybody else's efforts are in vain, man. I think that every little piece of sandpaper you can throw into the, to the cogs of the bureaucracy is great. I hate the fact that we've been turned into an industry, a money-making opportunity for a lot of people, but I still don't want it to end. And I still don't want people to stop being sand, being monkey wrenches in the system. Because I see what's coming to all the people that don't live in the urban areas. It's coming to us. We can only pretend there's not problems for so long. You can only move so far away before, there you are. There it is. And so I'm not waiting. I was a rebel in the war on drugs. And I've been kidnapped, and I've done my time. I'm a little smarter than that now. But don't accuse me, because I help people, man, and I try. No, I'm not a doctor. But the cat's out of the bag. Cannabis cures cancer. Different strains help with different things. Stuttering. I heard somebody, Annie, I forgot her last name. Annie, she was a great guest that was on the show the other day with Ron. I've seen it relieve stuttering immediately within like 30 seconds of ingestion. I've seen it work on epileptic seizures almost immediately, within seconds. Is it a miracle drug that cures everything? No. But there's no way for them to hide the fact that it is medicine. And even if they take some of the psychoactive ingredients away from it, there's always going to be us guys that have the real pure oil that really does cure cancer. Because they're not going to give you anything that'll cure it. If they do, they'll charge you $1 million for it when it's something you can grow in your own backyard. And then again, that's not just me. That's millions of freaking people. That's every year more and more research papers come out proving that everything that I've said is true. It's real. I read it. I didn't just make it up. I didn't make up the debate about vaccines. I didn't make up. Now, what I didn't understand or I didn't know was the deal that I was talking about earlier with the DDT spraying. And one of the things that I don't get about the vaccine is, well, so now they're saying, I mean, they say zero. These people are fucking militant about how they talk about vaccines and that it's not, that has no relation, no causal effect on autism. When I say, well, then why is it's now 1 in 64 male babies born in the United States are born with some form of autism. And they tell me, well, that's because they call everything autism now. They diagnose it more. Bullshit. You can't use that same logic because the reason that they claim that they eradicated polio was because they changed the way they diagnosed polio so that every year less and less cases of polio were diagnosed, but people were still being crippled with paralysis. They just weren't calling it polio. So they use the same frickin' argument to say, well, that's not autism, that's genetic. So all of a sudden, just out of the clear blue, the Father in heaven just decided to mess up all the genes of all the people in the United States so that now, genetically, within the next 10 years, every other fucking baby boy born will have some form of autism. They're breeding the intelligence out of an entire frickin' nation of people. Black, white, and Indian, and I belong in a mental institution. I belong in a mental institution. Tennessee woman was arrested for printing her own money. I saw this article, so I thought I saw someone post it. It was on the internet, so it must be true. Yeah, but did she find it on the internet and then source that and find like 5 different sources at least? She said Obama told her. She heard that Obama said that it was legal. She deserves to go to jail, you big dummy. You big dummy. Damn, you stupid. Oh, here's the one I was talking about. Major donors urge university officials to play the race card like the Democrats do. And it's innocent enough. It's not like a big, giant, major conspiracy. The problem is that it can be that it's there at all to even use is the race card to sway. So the administrators, right, the donors to this university, the whole thing is over the president of the university, who happens to be black, or not the president, but whatever, the president of the university, yeah. And they want a house for him to live in, which is admirable, and he should have that, right? But so what? But the way that the way they go about it is saying, well, I think we should handle this the same way the Democrats do. Every time a Republican attacks President Obama, they label him a racist. So if you're worried about a petition by the facility, just play the race card, call them racist, then make them defend themselves. That's the problem. Or call them homophobics, or call them anti-Semites. Call them mentally ill and say they belong in a mental institution. But that's the problem. That's the cultural Marxism at work. Use the race card. Call them a racist and make them defend themselves. It's a shame that that's even out there on the table. You know what I mean? So, and I don't even tell people not to do any vaccines. I tell them you have the right to decide what vaccines your child gets and when they get them. Research and be in control of your own health and your own child's health. Don't leave it in the hands of somebody who makes money off it, whether your child lives or dies. It's your responsibility. You're the father. You're the mother. There is a real debate. It's not even ethical to vaccinate a baby against a mother or father's will. Like I was telling, we've flipped the moral governing ethical pyramid upside down to where at the top is government and corporations. The family's just shambles at the bottom. There are no morals. I mean, if you're a white person and you're married to your wife and you raise children, you're ISIS. You're almost like Al Qaeda in America now. And I still can't bring myself to have any sympathy at all for the cops. But man, they made a bet that they're now, I mean, look, the Bolsheviks, the cultural Marxist Jewish ideology. I was telling you earlier, man, while all of Europe was breeding intelligence out, the Jews were breeding it in. And so you need all your frickin' senses. Man, seriously. You need to decalcify your pineal gland. We need all our senses. And I just have to just totally stop arguing with people on Facebook because it gets you nowhere. And I don't even know if Facebook it's great for gathering intelligence on an entire population of people, but what it's even better for is getting communities all riled up against each other so that they don't talk to each other when they go to the store. People have known each other their whole life because of some, flippant thing they said on Facebook and then went to work and come back and there's like 600 replies and all these professionally appalled retards that just... All right. Thank you. We're good people. We're God-fearing people. We're being led by leaders who are godly, who are lawless. All right? Don't let them fool you into thinking you're lawless and you don't have to care. They can call us whatever they want, but they can't make us hate. Yeah.
I'd rather die than be a slave to thee. Don't trade me this